G'day viewers and welcome to Totally Fucked Up. Well, it's Sunday, my time. What can I say? Circumstances. Shit happens. Been busy. But most importantly, totally fucked up shit continues to happen around the world. And I'm here to bring you just a tiny sampling of it. Starting in Belgium, where a rights group has decided that a public library that reads stories to children has to pay for that privilege. Yes, somebody who says they are representing authors has said to a library, the place where everyone is introduced to reading, a library where volunteers are taking their time to read to children, to interest them in reading and thus potentially provide a future for authors. The group that says they represent those authors has said, fuck you, we're going to go out of our way to stop that from happening. Because this is volunteers. This is not a big rich corporation. These people are not going to be able to afford to pay what these fucking extortionate bandits are insisting they pay. This is just the central thing. This sums up everything that I fucking object to about big companies and what they say they're doing about copyright. Because almost everything they do works actively against the interests of creators. Yes, people who make illegal profit from the work of others, I'm not a big fan of that. But these companies they couldn't give a fuck about creators. They don't give a fuck about the long-term damage that they do. They just see an opportunity to grab money and they go for it. It doesn't matter that they don't have the legal right. It doesn't matter that they don't have the moral right. It's just fucking money and they want it, okay? What don't you understand? You have money, they want it. Fucking hand it over. That is the sum total of their arguments. Like a pub in England, little village pub which has been calling itself The Hobbit for about 10 years. And guess what? Now a film of The Hobbit is going to come out. And so the lawyers for the American company producing the film have declared that this pub, well, essentially has to shut down. They're not allowed to trade under the name The Hobbit. All the special drinks they had that were Tolkien themed, they can't do that. That's illegal. Or I don't think they've even given them the option to pay a fortune for the rights to do it. They've just said, you can't do it. Now, one thing that is really important to note here is that this pub doesn't have any legal ground to stand on. But, I mean, you know, really what their defense, the defense has to come down to, not legal one, it's like, the defense is, really? For real? That's what you want to do? You want to be that big an asshole? Even Stephen Fry, who's in the movie The Hobbit, has spoken up. He just essentially has said it's embarrassing sometimes to be involved in that industry when it's dominated by these scumbags who just go for petty bullying. You know, it's not going to affect The Hobbit movie. It's not going to affect the profits of The Hobbit movie. But they're just gone, oh, you know what? We own the rights to that. We didn't create it. There's no creativity dependent on us, but we see an opportunity to grab money. So, you know, we want it. It's just, these people are fucking scum. It is not about, you know, the future of creativity. It's not about creative people. It's not about defending the rights of creative. It's about a bunch of people who will never create anything interesting in their whole fucking life, screwing people over from beginning to end and just grabbing money wherever they can see it. And it makes me fucking sick. Oh, and I'll give you a couple more reasons to be worried about these companies and their money grubbing and them being all over anything and everything you do. Because you remember Super and Peeper and everyone's congratulating themselves on how well we all did with getting that shut down. Well, apparently in the US from July 12th, all the big ISPs are essentially doing all the worst aspects of that voluntarily. They're just going along with the MPAA and the RIAA and just saying, oh yeah, no, we'll do surveillance on all our users and the good old graduated responses. They swear they're not doing a 3 strikes and out, but if they declare, not convict, mind you, if they declare that you're doing something illegal, there are a whole bunch of things they will do to you making you go to re-education camps from the sounds of it. And this is happening after all the work that everyone did against these laws that showed that these laws, you know, were unconstitutional and all that sort of thing. The ISPs are just going off and doing it voluntarily anyway. Isn't that awesome? Oh, and I said two things. The second thing is the NSA, the National Security Authority, Agency, whatever they call them in the US, is building the biggest surveillance center in history. Yay, conspiracy theorists, something that will keep you going for ages. Their new center they are building in Utah. It is mind-blowing when there has been admissions, straight out admissions from government bodies that, oh, yeah, you know, we've been surveilling emails, we've been listening to phone calls without warrants because we can, and now they've got a bigger and bigger center to help them do it more. It's just awesome, really, isn't it? And I want to round off with a story that might seem unrelated, but to me it is actually really closely related to these companies and governments doing this stuff, because it's about pig shit. Exploding pig shit, to be precise, because the world wasn't fucked up enough. In the Midwest of the US, pig farmers are having to cope with exploding pig shit. So what has apparently been happening, I know the pig farms, and this was a disturbing thing to discover, they seem to store all the pig shit for an extraordinarily long time, and pig shit produces a lot of methane. As anyone who's seen Mad Max 3 Thunderdome will know, you can power a whole city on pig shit. But normally it vents out before it gets too dangerous. But some mysterious foam, and they don't even know what it is, and they don't know what causes it, but it blocks up the vents and builds up really, really dangerous levels of methane to the point several of these pig farms have blown up. So, the good side of this, I think, is if you ever get in an argument with anyone from the American Midwest, you're officially allowed to say, no matter what they're saying, that they're full of shit. Exploding pig shit, to be precise.